Welcome to the Sports Sesh podcast. This is our fifth episode. I'm your host, Mason Shatwell, and my co-host is James Evans, and we're joined by another guest. We're joined by National League winner with Barrow, Mr. Josh Kay. How are you doing, Josh?
I'm all right, pal. Yourselves?
I'm doing all right. First thing I was going to ask you is, we're now reaching 100 days of lockdown, and with no football being on, how have you been able to keep yourself busy? What have you been doing?
There's a variety of stuff that we have been sent through, programs and stuff like that, etc. We've had, just normal stuff really, progressive running and stuff like that, getting into sprinting. Been doing a lot of bike riding. I've been enjoying that because the weather's been decent, to be fair, except for the last few days, hasn't it, really? So yeah, that's all I've been doing really. Can't really do any gym work because I haven't really got weights or anything like that. Not like Premier League football, you see. So yeah, just been doing what I can.
Well, I'd like to start with congratulations on winning the league with Barrow, and a lot of people have wanted me to ask you, how was you and the rest of the club dealing with, obviously, at the start, we didn't know if the league was going to be cancelled or go ahead, but now it's been decided points per game, and obviously Barrow have gone up 3 points per game. How did you feel with the uncertainty of promotion?
It was tough. It was tough, because all the hard work that we put in all season, being top for around 5 months straight, it was difficult to really think about ways that we could not get promoted, which was only really another void. So we were quite confident in a way that we'd get over the line. So it was the only thing that was really tough was the weight. That's it. It was just the uncertainty of are we gonna get shafted, basically.
Yeah.
So as soon as it was announced, it just felt like there was a kind of a weight lifted off your shoulders, kind of.
Well, with it being decided 3 points per game, would you have rather have it been decided 3 points per game, or would you have rather, if it was possible, play through to the end of the season?
Oh, well, I personally would have preferred to play through the rest of the season, which I think most of the lads wanted to as well, because it takes it away from you. People can say, "Oh, well, you wouldn't have done this, you wouldn't have done that." You was falling off. Our top goal scorer, Scott Quigley, got sent off in our last game, so he was on a 3-match ban. So people were like, "How are you going to score goals and stuff like that?" So yeah, it would have been nice to finish it off, and obviously celebrations would have been much better and stuff like that, because we haven't even had any celebrations in terms of with fans and stuff. So it's been a strange one, being my first promotion, and it just doesn't really feel like it, if you know what I mean. So
hi Josh, hope you're all right, mate. Going into the season, you had to compete with the likes of Notts County and Yeovil, who are well-established Football League clubs, going down for the first time, etc. And you had to compete with Bromley as well. How did it feel mentally throughout the season, having to compete with those teams?
Mentally, it was fun, because we're classed as a little team. We haven't got the biggest budget in the league. We definitely haven't got the lowest, but we're not a heavy hitter, as you call them. So we relished opportunities like that to play big teams, because we had nothing to fear and we had so much confidence and no pressure. So it always seemed to work well against good teams, which it normally always seems to be the case.
With the league having teams such as Stockport, Notts County and Chesterfield, which are well-established Football League teams, do you think with Stockport just being promoted as well, and there was a lot of, I'd say, hype around them possibly being promoted again, do you think that put any extra pressure on Barrow and any of the other teams?
No, the only pressure you get really is the pressure that you put on yourself. Yourselves. The gaffer always took pressure off us, because we didn't, even when as soon as we went top at Notts County away, we didn't we didn't feel like we had to have pressure because we shouldn't have been there on paper. We're not meant to be at the top of the league, so there was no pressure. It was just all fun. It literally felt like a bunch of mates playing football. That's what it felt like all the way through, and I think that's why we were so successful.
With yourself calling Barrow, well, not a small team, but reasonably small compared to, say, the other well-established sides. You finished 10th the season before last. What changed? What did Ian Evatt do differently compared to the season before last?
I don't think he changed a lot. I think when the gaffer came in, he had to build a squad from scratch. So it took us the whole season to really get used to how he wanted to play. And come the end of the season, you could see signs of what he was trying to do. We had a rough start to the season, and the only problem was that we was dominating games, but we just kept letting goals in. It was 3-2 or 2-1, etc. So I think it just took time. Do you know what I mean? It was just it just needed time to click, and as soon as it did, that was it. He did change his formation from 4-3-3, which he wanted to play, to a 3-5-2, which really helped us control the game better, because that's what we were as a team. We were a possession-based team, so we like to dominate games and move players and move people about and tire them out, and that's what we did.
Well, while we're on the subject of Ian Evatt, I've seen before that Bolton Wanderers are expected to announce him as the new manager of Bolton. Have you had any warning or any information on there?
No, there's nothing official that's being said right this minute. Obviously, we've heard there's been interest and stuff like that, which is public. It's on I think BBC Cumbria Sport have tweeted that they had a big decline for him. So I've not heard anything else from that. It's just really exactly the same as you guys. Just search Ian Evatt on Twitter and see what comes up and try and find out what's going on, really. So nothing really on that yet.
Well, with this season, there's been quite a few big teams in the league. Has there been with all the grounds you visited while playing for Barrow this season, has there been a ground that's been your favourite to visit, apart from obviously being at Barrow?
Favourite to visit in terms of just in general, in terms of good facilities, or in terms of going there and winning?
Like with the atmosphere and that.
I'd probably just say Notts County, because they didn't expect to lose the game. When you score 2 in the first half, and you're giving the fans a bit of stick. So that was quite enjoyable. But yeah, it's a good ground, and it's a good stadium. So yeah, that's probably the best.
Well, apart from winning the league, has there been a standout moment in the season that's been your favourite of the season?
Standout moment for me, favourite would probably have to be who did we play away? Was it Aldershot away? I think, when we won our game after losing a few on the bounce, and that's what really started us off. Joel, our keeper, saved a pen in the last. I think it was the last kick of the game. I think, and that got us the win. So, and I scored in that one. So yeah, probably that one. Yeah.
We were speaking to Guy Mowbray yesterday, obviously the BBC pundit, and he was talking about how Premier League clubs, in terms of finance, were going to be fine throughout the situation at COVID, but lower league clubs, I believe he supports York City, and National League clubs such as yourself, have you been affected at all by the situation?
I think we're all right, to be fair. That's quite public as well. I saw something of our chairman saying that obviously there's going to be a loss of money involved, but we are quite okay. I think we're financially all right, and we've been assured of that as well. I haven't been furloughed, so I don't think I have. I'm not sure. I don't think I have, but I've been getting paid in full. So I'm sure that I think we're fine. I've just got to go off what the chairman said there, really, and what I know from his interviews. So apparently we're fine.
Well, with Barrow being promoted this season, what are you most looking forward to in playing League Two football next year?
Oh well, there's a lot really, isn't there? There's quite a few big teams that are in there now. There's Bolton, Bradford. There's a few big. How many are Bradford getting? They've got a big fan base, Bradford, haven't they? So that should be an interesting one, a fun one to play in. I'm most looking forward to them coming to Barrow, really, and try to get 3 points at Barrow away. They're just the big teams, really. That it'll be fun to play against these big teams.
Well, with you having championship experience, what's the biggest difference in playing in non-league football to a football league?
Say the biggest difference for me is the players are just better players, really, and it's people probably don't believe that. Well, people probably don't realise that when you play with miles better players, how much easier it is. I remember when I made my debut, I didn't really touch the ball much, but you didn't have to do a lot, and it wasn't really playing. I think I played 8 to 9 minutes on my debut for Barnsley. It wasn't as challenging as playing 90 minutes in the National League. It was I'd probably say it's harder in the National League. There's a lot more passing and stuff like that. In the Championship, both teams can keep the ball fairly well. Us and only maybe a couple of others that I can think of, really, we're a possession-based team. So, it's not that much difference physically. I think it's just technical, really. All the players are just better.
Obviously, going into the Football League next season, for Barrow, what would you say your ambitions are for next year? And do you believe that you can compete with the teams in League Two?
Well, my ambitions, as well as probably all the lads' ambitions, are probably to go again. We believe that there's not much different in leagues in the standard of football. So we're hoping to go in and just give it a right go and try and. I'm saying personally myself, I've said to myself, I'm setting mid-table as a minimum. So I want to be right up there. I want to finish minimum mid-table. Just to keep us up. If that's what we have to, when it gets further into the season and we realise we can't quite get there, let's make sure we finish mid-table and establish us there. But yeah, I think most of the lads want to go for playoffs. So we'll just have to wait and see.
I seen a few months back that there was a lot of fans that were speculating about Barrow's stadium not reaching Football League requirements. Was that ever a worry for you guys? But now obviously we know that it has reached the requirements.
I'm sure they got it checked. I know that they got it checked. Obviously, when we were top of the league for a while, they got it checked out. There's some stuff going on at the stadium right now, and I've never heard that we wasn't ready for it. I think we just weren't far off. It was only minor stuff that had to be done. Maybe if we wasn't ready, the stadium wasn't ready for it. But I didn't hear about anything that it not being ready or anything like that, because we haven't really spoke about that until we was top for a while, and chairman and the club started speaking about developments and seeing if it was ready. So I've only known that it's been ready to go, really.
As we mentioned before, as a possibility of the manager going over to Bolton, if he does leave, do you think that'll have a huge effect on the team?
Obviously, it will have an effect if he does go. But I think if we keep the core group of players together, and a new manager came in that'd be pretty much the same as the gaffer, with the same ambitions, and I'm saying, like the same philosophy and stuff like that, I think we'd be all right, as long as it doesn't start chopping and changing and we start playing long, because none of us are made for playing the ball long. We can all play we all play possession-based football, so yeah, I think if we just got the right person in, then yeah, we'll be fine.
How would you assess him as a manager in general? Do you feel like a Bolton is a pretty good step up for him, like a good club for him to go to after what he's achieved at Barrow?
Obviously, it's a massive, massive club, isn't it? But I don't know what I can say too much on that. I'm just gonna. I don't know.
Nothing's confirmed yet, of course.
Yeah, nothing's confirmed yet, so I'll just have to. I'll have to swerve that one.
While obviously during this, no one's been able to train. Do you know when you're going to be able to meet up and train again as a team?
The gaffer said 16th of July is our date to go back. 16th or 17th, something like that. But that'll just be for testing. I think we just go in for testing, and then maybe a few days later we'll go in, and maybe, because we've got that long until the season's got to start, everyone's thinking September maybe or something like that. It'll maybe be a staggered return to training, maybe 3 times a week or something, and then start building into full training, because you don't want to overdo it in pre-season when you've got that much time. You may as well give yourselves a staggered return, get back on the balls and stuff like that. I say that I hadn't kicked a ball since we stopped until about 2 weeks ago, and it's not the best. So yeah, hopefully that happens sooner rather than later, because I'm starting to get a bit bored now as well, and I'd love to go back and train.
While we was on about before, you was promoted through points per game. Obviously, the playoffs were decided through points per game as well, and unfortunately for Stockport, they missed out through the points per game system, and Barnet have took place. Have you got a prediction on who you think will come out on the top of the playoffs?
Who's in the playoffs again? Who is it?
Yeovil.
Yeovil.
Barnet.
Can't
remember the other 3.
Is it Bromley?
Is Bromley still in there? Oh, I'm not sure, but the people who I think would take it will probably be Notts County. Coming off the Beatles in that last game. I know it's been a long time, but they probably take confidence into. You always take confidence into your next game, whatever it is. So maybe that'll push them over the line, but we'll wait and see.
Well, hopefully, my local team's Stockport, so I would have loved for him to get into the playoffs. But out of the teams that are in there now, I'd say the one that probably deserve it more is Notts County, because they've got no place to be in non-league. The size of the club, the oldest football league club to date till last year. Hopefully for their fans, they do get back in there soon. Yeah,
hopefully so. It is a big club, and they don't deserve to be in the National League, do they? Well, they shouldn't be in the National League, really. They shouldn't be the size of the club. They shouldn't be in there. Yeah, it'd be good to see them go back into the league. Don't know about for the fans though, because they're a bit naughty, man. Been giving me a lot of stick on Twitter, them lot.
What was it like playing for a championship club like Barnsley, and would that sort of experience benefit you in a way going into the Football League next year?
The experience was to sum it up. I'd just say it was the best day of my life. Obviously, I'd worked all my life for that moment. And to be fair, having that experience, it wasn't. I don't think it had helped me because it was just a. It was so. It was. I wasn't really ready. I just got thrown in because we had injuries and stuff. So I just got thrown in because I was doing quite well for the 23s. So I think I've learned just so much from dropping back down. Obviously, I played a few games in League Two, but I didn't play week in, week out. I've been playing week in, week out all this season. 35 games, I think I've played. And I've just learned so much. And when people say games, when you play games, that's what your experience comes from. It's so true. Like last season was just, I was in and out the side, and that's where you start picking up things and learning stuff. But now I just feel like I've gone that next step. Do you know what I mean? In terms of experience. So hopefully this season will stand me in good stead to go and hit League Two flying again.
Would you say out of all the clubs you've played for, Barrow you've gained the most experience from?
Yeah, 100%. I've been coached well in terms of I did learn a lot of stuff at Barnsley, but it was just stuff that I should have learned from 16 to 18 as a scholar. I was going in there at 19 and without any experience of a professional environment, and I was just basically learning on the job. So I did pick up a lot of stuff there, but it was more or less on how to behave and you need to be on time. Little things like that, stupid stuff really, that you'd expect a professional to do. But for me, I was coming from college, so it was all new to me. But yeah, definitely I've learned just even how to handle yourself in a dressing room and stuff like that this year. You know, what it takes to play week in, week out, Saturday, Tuesdays, you know, every weekend you've got to be on it. You've got to be on it every day in training. Yeah, I've just learned a lot under the gaffer and Pete. So yeah, I'd definitely say Barrow.
Obviously, from the looks of it, you've been playing at Barrow since 2018, I believe, a couple of years now. It looks like you've finally found a home at a club like Barrow. What's it like to play for them in general?
Yeah, it's like a big family. You know, it's a tight community. The first season, obviously, they've had 40 odd years of heartbreak being, you know, out of the football league, and they've had a lot of direct styles of play and stuff. And the first year, you heard a lot of the fans screaming, "Get it forward, get it forward," and that was you know, quite frustrating and stuff. But this season, the fans and playing for Barrow has just been unbelievable. Like, it's hard to describe what it feels like after every game. You know, fans are thanking you. Like, it's not like well done. It's like thank you. It's Scott Quigley said it before. He came off and he scored a couple of goals or whatever, and the fans are like shaking his hand saying thank you, and it's like, it's just so tight. Do you know what I mean? It's a family. So yeah, it's been amazing.
Well, with you saying it's like a tight knit community, I know a lot of teams in the league are like, the clubs are really close with the surrounding community. Do you think the connection with the club and the fans are better in the National League and the lower league teams than it is like maybe Championship level?
Yeah, maybe. You know, just because it's not as big of a league. You know, you can get near players. You know, you can, if they wanted to, they could jump over the wall at Holker Street and give one of us a hug. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not
if you're playing away.
Yeah, true. Well, they could do whatever they want, couldn't they? They wouldn't have to go there again. But yeah, definitely definitely it's tighter, isn't it? The you can get near people. You can get near players. You can speak to players that they've not got. Because the difference is in National League, you've only got maybe 30 fans asking to speak to you. Say you're playing the Championship. Think about all them fans that players have to deal with trying to get hold of it. And it's like, it's going to get too much. You know what I mean? You can stop for a fair few, the odd one or the odd few. But then when there's about 30,000 of them trying to get round you, I'm pretty sure that'd frustrate me. Do you know what I mean? So it's not as tight. But yeah, it's definitely more together in the National League and stuff like that in the lower leagues.
Do you think it benefits a club having a better connection with the fans?
Well, 100%. The connection with the fans wasn't there last season, and we did all right. And the connection with the fans this season has been 110%. So we've absolutely flown. So that just shows what it can do.
When the season came to a close, and obviously you ended up as champions, I believe Scott Quigley finished the top goal scorer with 20 goals.
Yeah.
Especially going into League Two, how important is it for Barrow to keep a hold of a player like Scott Quigley?
Massive. You don't find many strikers that can score 20 goals in a season. It's very rare. And if he can do that, we need to keep him. If he can do that again, that just gives us so much more. It gives us an extra 10%, 5%, whatever. It gives us that extra boost. We could finish. That could be the difference from us finishing 10th or finishing 5th. Do you know what I mean?
The same could go for John Rooney as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Just give him the name.
Don't say that to him. No, John's technically one of the best player, probably the best player that I've ever come across.
You say he's better than Wayne.
Well, I'm not playing. I mean, playing with. Do you know what I mean? Like I've played with Ryan Kemp was on loan at Barnsley when I was there. I played with like Conor Horahan. We trained with Conor Horahan, sorry. And John Rooney's his technique's just unbelievable. But,
who would you say is the best player at Barrow at the moment? Would you say it's between Scott and him?
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to pick. I just have them both together.
Personally, what are your targets for next season individually? And we know you've said with the club you want to finish mid-table, see where you are in the middle of the season. But individually, what are your targets for next year?
My personal targets.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm losing you there. Sorry, that nearly went off then, didn't it? My personal targets, probably double figures in goals, because I've got 7 in all competitions. And maybe go for double figures in assists as well. I've not really thought about it, to be fair, but I wanted to get double figures in goals this season, which obviously I was on my way. So I want to get double figures next season in goals, and maybe double figures assists, or more assists than I got this season. I only got 5 assists. But when I say only, it's not bad considering I'd never played that position before. Obviously, playing left wing back, it was just because it fitted, and I can play with both feet. So I'd never played there before, so I was kind of learning on the job, but I just really enjoyed it. So hopefully I can just hit double figures in both goals and assists.
Out of all the teams in the league at the moment, would you say Barrow has surprised everyone the most with the performance this season?
Yeah, 100%. No one. I think we were one of the good odds to go down again. No one expected it. The only people that knew it was going to happen, well, 99.9% knew it was going to happen, was us. we were the only ones that believed that we could win the league. You know what I mean? When the gaffer said, to be fair, when the gaffer said on the first day back, he said, "We ain't going for playoffs. We're gonna win this league." I was like, "Come on, steady." But when we bought into it, and obviously everything started clicking, we were just unstoppable. Yeah.
When you look at it on paper, on the table and the sort of final points, your home record was phenomenal. I believe from the top of my head, you won 13 out of 19 games at home. What would you put the good form down to, personally?
I put our good form down to training hard day in, day out on what we do and not worrying about what the other team's got to do. Just perfecting our craft. And just that, what's the word? That will to win. The will to win. We never gave up. We went down 1-0 against Torquay at home. We wanted to win, but it was a big game, and it was miles offside. But we just picked the ball up out of the net. Boom, 2-1. Scott Quigley scored the winner. We just never gave up. It was a never die attitude. That's it.
Next year, with you playing in League Two, is there a particular set of fans that you're not going to miss next season?
Count me if they don't go up. Just count me if they don't go up. But I hope they do. I hope they do go up. So if we play them again and we win, I might get a bit more stick up them again. It'll be funny.
What's it like playing at Holker Street in Barrow?
Yeah, it's windy. Very windy. And that kind of came to our advantage, to be fair. It ended up, well, for me personally, you start learning how to play in them type of conditions at Barrow. Which is it's a plus against teams that come and they think, wow, it's blowing me over. Do you know what I mean? It was there were some seriously windy days down there, but yeah, playing at Barrow is windy, wet often. It's gonna be tough, like for opposite teams especially. It's gonna be tough. It ain't gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be easy. But for us, it's the best. It's the best place to play, especially with the fans.
Out of all the players you've came up against this season, who's been the toughest player you've come across?
Toughest player I've come across. There was one lad for Solihull, small and stocky. I can't remember his name, but he had me all game. All game he had me, and I think he was a winger playing right back, maybe, I don't know, but he was just so strong and quite quick over the first few yards, like the little dash. He just had me all game, and I had a bit of a stinker, to be fair. I thought I was going to get dropped after that, but you know, these things happen. You're allowed a one-off game, I suppose. But yeah, I'd probably say I can't remember his name, but he was at Solihull. He was good. Yeah.
Obviously, you talk about the fans at Barrow. How do they compare to other sides in the National League, and how do they compare to, say, the sides you previously played for?
How do the Barrow fans compare, did you say?
Yeah.
See, it's different because obviously I can't comment on Barnsley because that was only just one game. So I'll say let's speak about Chesterfield and Barrow comparison. Obviously, it's two different things. So when I was at Chesterfield, it was hostile because we were in relegation. Like, we were going down. So it was the atmosphere was dead. There was people weren't happy, which obviously they shouldn't. They shouldn't be. They should be a league club as well. And compare that to Barrow. New manager came in, new philosophy. Everything was just, the gaffer spoke about it, was creating that perfect storm. So yeah, I can't really do a comparison because they were the exact same. Do you know what I mean? The one place I was getting, we were right down at rock bottom, and the other place it was, fresh. It was fresh, new start for everybody. So yeah.
Apart from Barrow, who would you, in your opinion, who would you say is the most passionate fans in the league?
County are good. County are good. Yeah, I'd probably give it to County. Stockport. Not Notts. Stockport.
Yeah.
Made him happy now.
When I first contacted you through Twitter, you also informed me that you was a MMA fan as well. Did you watch this weekend's show?
Didn't watch this weekend's, no. Because I've been watching pretty much every one, right?
Oh, you've missed a great one.
I know. I've seen the highlights, right, and I thought, I'm not watching. I can't be bothered, right? And I woke up and I seen this fight of the year. I was like, no, surely not. And I watched the highlights, and oh my god, wow, it was some fight, wasn't it? Jesus. Yeah.
Well, if it's all right with you, on our first episode, we made predictions for UFC 251. If it's all right with you, could we do a prediction for the main card?
Yeah, go on. I need to know the card though.
Yeah. So first match we've got Paige Van Zandt against Rebus, I think. Who have you got for that one?
Do you know what? I don't know. I don't know on that one. I don't know. Don't know on that one. Who's next?
Next, we've got Jessica Andrade and Rose Namajunas.
No, that's not the one I know. Who's that? Wait, can I have a look? Because I know these fighters by face.
Right, yeah.
You know the smaller ones. I'm not really.
Yeah.
UFC. What is it? 251.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Oh God, there's some fights on here. Yeah, that Rose. Yeah, what is it? Rose. Say that last name again.
Rose Namajunas.
Yeah, she's winning. She's class. She's unbelievable. Well, she's scary. She's scary, man, as well. Wait, is my film back on?
Yeah.
Wait, right. Yeah, she's serious. I like her. She's good.
Well, after that, we've got Peter Yan and Jose Aldo for the bantamweight title.
I don't know. That's a tough one, that. I think it's a tough one. Because Aldo, you've got years of experience of dominating, so I might just go for Aldo just because of the experience, maybe.
Then the one I'm most looking forward to, my boy Alex Volkanovski and Max Holloway.
Volkanovski. I think Holloway's class, but Volkanovski's he's a beast, isn't he? Just a beast. Yeah, I'm going to go for him. I'm going to watch this card as well. 100%.
Yeah, don't want to miss this one. Main event, we've got Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns for the welterweight title.
I think Burns has got a chance.
Mm.
Do you think Burns has got a big chance? Like, obviously, Usman's. I just think he can slip out of his hands.
Mm.
I just think Burns has got a real chance. Do you know what? I'm gonna go Burns. I'm gonna go for him. I think he might do it. I'm gonna give it him. I'm going to be sat crying on at about 6 a.m. Oh no, when he loses.
There's another big fight on at Fight Island, but that's July 25th, I believe. Rob Whittaker and Darren Till. Have you got to that one?
Darren.
Yeah.
I think he's so focused right now. Hopefully, and obviously getting a win against was it Gastelum?
Yeah.
Getting a win against him last time out. Hopefully that's brought his confidence back, and I feel like it kind of humbled him a bit, and now he's really being himself. That's how I feel anyway. So I'm gonna go for Darren. I want him to win that because I like him. He's so funny, man. So funny. He's trolling so good. I'd hate to be in the fight game with him absolutely hammering me on Twitter.
I'll get back to the football. Obviously, with Barrow, the highest point of the season is obviously going to be promoted, but it'd be interesting to find out what has been the lowest point in the season for the team.
The lowest point in the season, I think it was just all them games at the beginning, mate. Really, that we just kept losing. Because other than that, we was just flying. We just flew after that. So I won't really say there was a low. Actually, oh no! I want to tell you a story now, right? So after that Aldershot win, when we just lost 7 on the bat. Kicked off in the changing room. And some salt got thrown, like a bottle of salt, the big bottles of salt. I don't know where it came. It was a lads right on the top of the head. And it just went off, and we just won, and I couldn't believe what was going on. But yeah, that was, it was just probably the lowest average one, just losing all them games at the start. I couldn't really say there was one low point, really. Yeah.
What got you into football?
What got me into football? My dad, probably. My dad just gave me a ball from when I could walk, and I'd just be kicking it around outside. My mum's pointing at it. My mum's doing this. What about me? What about me? No, definitely not. Yeah, it was me dad. Yeah.
What team did you grow up supporting?
Grew up supporting United. Mum and dad are United fans. But people ask me this question a lot. Who do you support? But I don't really support anybody. I won't say I won't say like I'm a massive football fan. But the lads, obviously my mates talk about it in the group chats and that, and just putting bets on and that. Who do you think will win this? And I'm like, I don't have a clue, mate. I don't have a clue. So yeah, I'm not even really a massive football fan. Obviously, I've got to watch it and stuff, but I won't say I enjoy watching it. I feel like it's quite boring, especially now. It's so boring. There's no fans or anything. It's not the best.
You find that a lot with athletes nowadays. They're not usually, well, a lot of them aren't fans of their own sport. Like, I know a lot of fighters that don't watch much fighting, but obviously compete in it. And I know quite a few footballers don't watch football, but obviously play football week in, week out.
Right, okay, dear, right. Well, I thought I was the only one, but when people say it to me, they're like, hey, he's serious, he's serious. What do you mean? And I'm like, I just don't enjoy watching it. I just don't find it interesting. Like, I would rather watch a UFC fight than watch a football match if they were both on at the same time. I'd be watching a UFC fight. But it just doesn't. Yeah, or boxing. I've just heard my mum say in the background. So yeah, I do enjoy boxing as well. I'm not as big into boxing as UFC though.
Well, you mentioned boxing, and have you got a prediction for when Fury AJ happens?
When it happens?
Yeah.
Well, if it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should look at Wilder and all that.
I saw an interview of Fury saying, yeah, they've got to get through their own fighters first, haven't they?
Yeah.
He's got to get through Wilder. He's got to get through is it Pulev?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've got to get through that first. I know for a fact Fury will get through Wilder, but I don't know about AJ getting through him. You know, he's had a wobble before, so we'll see. But
obviously, with you being a full-time footballer and the people you've met, who's been your favourite person you've met from doing what you do?
What saying in terms of best, like one of my friends or
but in general, like, who have you ever been starstruck off meeting anyone through football?
No, I've never been starstruck off meeting anybody, but we played a pre-season game, I think it was, or a reserves match, or I think it might have been in season or before the season started, and we played Sheffield Wednesday, and a few of their first team players were involved, and my brother is a massive Sheffield Wednesday fan, like huge. So when I saw Forestieri, like Fernando Forestieri, and I had to mark him, by the way, absolute stinker. Give me the runaround. Yeah, that was good. That seeing him play, do you know what I mean? Like having to try and get near him. It was good chasing shadows that game, definitely.
Which footballer would you say inspired you growing up? Who's the best you've ever witnessed on TV?
Best I've ever witnessed on TV? Messi, he's got to be. He's the best. Obviously, I love Ronaldo, love Ronaldo, but just natural, pure technical ability, it's got to be Messi. That's the best player, obviously, on TV. But who I used to look up to, which is a bit of a weird one now, because obviously I've changed positions. But it was Paul Scholes. I just loved how he was so good on the ball. Like he could pass the ball perfectly, like 50, 60 yards. And just the way he played, really, so calm, and which is completely different to how I am now. But yeah, he was the one that I used to watch growing up.
With that Paul Scholes, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard debate, what's your top three for that one?
Oh no! Obviously,
you mentioned Paul Scholes.
Got to go Scholes. Scholes is obviously on top for me. It's got to be. And then I'd just go Lampard, Gerrard, because my dad's listening. And if I put Gerrard second, he won't be happy. Because he's Scouser.
Why you just mentioned the Scouts there? What have your thoughts been on Liverpool this season in the Premier League?
Unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, I've never seen, well, as long as I've been alive anyway, a team be that far ahead.
Yeah.
Like that far. I don't think I've ever seen it. By the way, you know that I don't watch a lot of football and stuff like that, so they might have been, but I don't think I've ever seen it like that. So yeah, they've been unbelievable, haven't they? Unbelievable.
100%.
Obviously, growing up, you had to, well, with any sort of footballer really going professional, you had to make a couple of sacrifices to reach the pinnacle of the sport. At what age did you feel like you were going to make it professionally, and did you have to make any sort of sacrifices to reach the pinnacle of the sport?
It's strange because obviously I did have to make. Well, the only sacrifice was really carrying on. That was my only sacrifice. It wasn't really a sacrifice. It was a I'm just not going to give up attitude, really. There was no sacrifice because obviously when you started in college, I was at college. It's tough. Like you've not been signed as a scholar, and it didn't even creep into my mind, but it might have been going into my subconscious mind maybe that you might not make it. So obviously when I turned 18, I'd go out in town and stuff like that, and
as you do.
Yeah, 100%. So I didn't really fully dedicate and sacrifice I just carried on enjoying it, and I performed well where I was, and ended up just getting it, maybe getting lucky, and just getting a trial really at Barnsley, and then taking it. That was the main thing. I took it. I took my opportunity when it finally got presented. But yeah, I wouldn't say I really fully had to sacrifice my life to get there. I did at the start, but when, obviously, like I said, when you hit 16 to 18, especially when you turn 18, it's still not happened. Doubt maybe started creeping in a bit.
If any of the viewers we've got watching now are aspiring footballers, if you could give one piece of advice to them, what would you give?
Work hard. I'm gonna give them a few here. It's just work hard, practice a lot, and most importantly, enjoy it. Have fun, because as soon as the fun goes, that's it. As soon as the fun, and I've been there. As soon as the fun goes, it becomes a job, and it isn't a job. Obviously, it is a job, but it shouldn't feel like a job. It should feel like fun. You should be enjoying it. You should be laughing. You should be smiling. Or it's not the best job in the world.
Well, I think we've covered quite a bit today, so I did want to say cheers for joining us. And as always, everyone, we've got a page out on Facebook, which we'll put in the description, and all of our Twitters will be on there. So cheers again for joining us, Josh.
No worries, fellas. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Good luck next season, mate.
See you later. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.